know what happened to us. And if you look at the whole spectrum, look at it. People are saying more than 20,000 Tanzanians have been killed out of what happened the other day from the elections, which were never elections. President Museveni comes up and says, oh, you know what, we picked up those little rabbits. And by the way, I say this with a lot of humility because Museveni is a personal friend. The question I want to ask the Ugandan president is this. In 1978, he walked into my home in Kisii. By that time, I mean, my father was a minister in government. Museveni needed to be kept and hidden away from Obote's people. He brought his Ugandan people who were teachers in a school that my father owned, who were his intelligence officers. What would happen if all of them had been killed? What would happen if my father had handed over Museveni to Obote? Because at that time, it was the best thing to do. And yet, in reality, I'm a bit relieved that he didn't kill the two gentlemen who were arrested. So we are talking about Africa and Africans, especially East Africans. All of a sudden, we've just become something else that I personally never thought would happen again.
Right. No vote for NRM.
Two other stories making headlines in neighboring Uganda, where President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is facing mounting criticism after admitting that his government secretly detained two Kenyan activists, Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo, in what he described as fridges. The admission contradicts earlier claims by Ugandan security agencies that they did not know the activists' whereabouts. Haman Kamariki with the details.
Uganda President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni acknowledged what many feared, that Kenyan activist Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo were in Ugandan custody after being arrested on 1st of October this year. They ended up in what Museveni casually described as fridges, accusing them of trying to export activism to Uganda.
Don't have any information to the effect that they are in police custody. Nor do I have any information that they are accused by police.
That they are experts in riots. So they have come to train our people. Of course, with our very good intelligence system, they fix them up. And they have been in the fridge for some days.
A section of African leaders have warned against dictatorial leadership in the continent. Speaking during the Pan-African celebrations at Lukenya University, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and former Botswana President Ian Khama called for an end to state brutality.
African leaders must stop treating protesters as criminals. In the case of Kenya, in the case of my own country, a senior counsel went out there, PLO, next to commit a maximum prison. It is totally unacceptable when an African leader, in order to stay in power, will resort to killing his or her own people.
Lawyer Michael Hisawere says Uganda had no legal mandate to abduct or detain Kenyan citizens without due process. He adds that the activists may seek compensation.
What the government of Uganda did was actually an abuse of the fundamental rights and freedoms of the two activists. They are at liberty to move the East African Court of Justice or the African Court on Human and People's Rights and to the government of Uganda for derogation of their rights and seek for compensation.
It's not my duty to come here and sanitize the human rights situation in Uganda. I'm disgusted by it myself, if you want to know the truth. I want to tell you there's no more image to protect. The government in terms of human rights is stark naked. I can tell you frankly. I want to declare myself your ally in these difficult times as we head to 2026.
I owe nothing to nobody. There's nobody I care about if you try to play around with it, because I owe nothing to you, not even to the government. When you hear my son's name, Mhozi, when he was born, I said, now I have got somebody to avenge me. That's what his name means. Now that I have got a boy, this is the one who will avenge me in case I am something wrong is done to me. Mhozi, the clan, was the one revenging on behalf of the offended.
We are more frightened than you people who are outside. When we are in NRM and in that army. I spent 5 years in that army. I could never eat in a hotel. I could never attend a function and take a soda because I feared poison. MPs don't eat in their canteen. No. People don't drink water even when they go to these big men's functions. Everybody carries his small water in his jacket. This is the country we are living in. Ask your ministers when they are called for state, for cabinet meeting. And you come and you tell us everything is okay. It is okay. It is okay when a member of the high command, when we are going to meet everybody, packs a chapati in the pocket. From Busa. It means there is a serious problem in the country. It means there is a serious problem, which we need to resolve. But people do not understand that. They think everything. If the people, we who are inside the army, inside cabinet, inside the parliament, cannot trust each other, you cannot serve me tea and I take it. Forget about other things. Then how can you build a country now?